Night two, we got the this is a good game, right? This is a really good game. We got the Bulls and the Toronto Raptors. Michael, who you taking?
Last week when we talked about this, I said the Raptors' size would just be too big of a mismatch for the Bulls, and the
Pause.
Bulls really haven't been. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Anyways, my
Oh
bad.
man,
And
yeah.
the Raptors. Oh my word! I can't even say anything. Okay,
just keep
so
talking
the
hoops, brother.
players, the Raptors players would just be too big for a matchup for the Bulls. And the more and more I look at it, and the more even just checking some stats, it's hard for me to buy into that because even just right here, a quick looking on Yahoo.com, going to the sports like field goal percentage, they're 27th at 45%. At 3 points, they're 28th. Points scored, they're 23rd. In total rebounds, they're 18th. I mean, that's bad. And I mean, I know when it comes to playoff, it's more defensive, dominated, I guess you will, when it comes to trying to win in a playoff games. But Toronto, you still got to score baskets. And at least Chicago has some better stats in some of those. Like they're third in field goal percentage. They're 16th in 3 points. They're 21st in total rebounds. But points scored, they're at least 17th. So they have a better offense as far as execution. I mean, they've struggled most of the season on some aspects, but I think Beverly having some experience here, some veterans that's adding them, may be the X factor for this team for this play-in game. I mean, you got to win twice, but I don't know why. I've made some risky picks already tonight, so I'm going to flop. I'm going to switch over and say the Bulls are going to win this matchup, basically due to Beverly being in this play-in matchup with the Timberwolves last year and having the emotional celebration all over the place like he did, and the Bulls are going to win this. I mean, Derozan's played in Toronto for years. He's going to have that on his chest. Levine is going to have the opportunity to say, hey, I belong to be the lead guy here. And Pat Beverly is just playing to be, hey, I'm supposed to be good, and we're going to win this game, So I'm going to say I'm a believer in the Bulls now. And I'm sorry that I flipped from 1 week ago saying that the Raptors would win to the Bulls here.
I'm rocking with Chicago in this matchup. I think this will be a really interesting matchup between two duos. Obviously for Chicago, they got DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. For Toronto, they have Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet. And I'll just be honest. I mean, I think VanVleet and Siakam had actual really good seasons. It's just Toronto roster-wise was just not really fit to really be a real contender. However, I think Chicago's supporting cast is just a little bit better. I think DeRozan is going to shine in this matchup. It's like Michael mentioned earlier. He's facing his former team in Toronto, so that's definitely going to be something that's in his mind as well. So I'm going to go with Chicago in this matchup.
I converted you over, didn't I?
No, I had them the entire time.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, this is a very interesting game because both teams have some great pros and some very alarming flaws. And
great pros and alarming woes.
Yeah, facts. And I feel like for the Bulls, they have the better scoring duo in DeRozan and LaVine, no question. I think it's really going to come down to that third guy for each team, Scotty Barnes and Vucevic. Which one of those players, has a hell of a game, and that's going to be a factor because, like Nick talked about, we know what Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam can do, and we know what DeRozan and LaVine bring to the table. So those other guys, it's gonna play a big factor. The head coaching matchup. Obviously, Nick Nurse has the edge over Billy Donovan. I'm going to go Toronto. I think they're better defensively. I think they can throw a couple players at DeRozan and LaVine with Scotty Barnes, with Siakam, Gary Trent, OG Anunoby as well could be a big factor in this game as well. I'm gonna go with Toronto because they're better defensively. They're at home, so I think some of those role players will play better for sure. I think Scotiabank Arena is going to be rocking. It's going to be, I think, early. It's going to be a slow game. Might be an ugly type game, but I think in the second half, towards around maybe the 8-minute mark in that fourth quarter, I could start to see Toronto go on a run and get it done. So yeah, this is a good game, great chess match, but I'm gonna go with the Raptors.
Don't forget about Alex Caruso. I think he will be a huge piece for that play game as well.
Yeah, Caruso can have a great game. They played really well defensively since bringing in Patrick Beverley, putting him in that starting lineup. But they've gone on Beverley, Caruso, Levine, DeRozan, and Vucevic. They've done great. They've done great, and then also they've struggled as well because offensively, Caruso and Beverley aren't great floor spacers. So that's concerning for two high mid-range type players in the duo that they have over there in Chicago. So it's going to be a Eastern Conference type game. It's going to be ugly, but I'm gonna go with the Raptors.